There comes a moment in every man's life when he must choose between the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. That moment is not in some distant future, it is now. This moment, this breath, this decision you're about to make to read on or retreat will become the hinge upon which your destiny swings. If you seek comfort, you will find decay. If you seek truth, you will find yourself. Success has never belonged to the casual nor to the lukewarm. It is a kingdom governed by law, ruled by those who have learned to command themselves. And no law is more merciless or more rewarding than the law of self-mastery. If you would rise above the mediocrity that swallows the masses, you must learn to govern the most unruly empire of all, the empire within. For until you take possession of your own mind, the world will possess it for you. I do not speak to the weak in spirit, nor to those who seek validation before action. I speak to the man or woman whose soul burns quietly, persistently, with a sense that they were made for more. I speak to the few who are ready to stop making excuses and start forging results. This is not a lecture, it is a mirror. You may flinch, you may resist, but if you are courageous enough to keep listening, you will find power where once there was only paralysis. Let us begin with a principle so few ever master, and yet it is the gatekeeper to all others: emotional detachment. What is emotional detachment? It is not apathy. It is not indifference. It is command. It is the art of remaining calm while the world screams. It is the skill of responding rather than reacting. It is the quiet, internal declaration: I will not be owned by that which I do not choose. The man who has mastered detachment is not cold, he is powerful, he feels, but he is not enslaved by feeling. He thinks, but he is not a prisoner of thought. He acts not out of impulse, but out of principle. If you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. The man who cannot say no to his emotions will never hear the world say yes to his ambitions. For while the undisciplined man fights battles on the outside, the master wages war on the inside and wins. Do you know what most men fear? It is not poverty, it is not failure, it is responsibility. It is the terrifying truth that their life is the sum total of what they have allowed, what they have tolerated. Emotional reactivity is the favorite tool of the man who fears power because it gives him an excuse. I couldn't help myself. But hear this, and let it pierce you until you can help yourself. No one else will. The world respects power, not potential. And the highest form of power is not what you do to others, it is what you do to yourself. If you would be free, truly free, you must become untouchable, not in body, but in spirit. That is the purpose of mental discipline. Not to suppress your nature, but to refine it. Not to deny emotion, but to wield it. You do not conquer the world by shouting louder. You conquer it by standing still when all others panic. You lead by silence more than by speech. You win by detachment more than by force. And here we come to one of the great immutable truths. He who masters calmness masters conquest. The man who cannot be provoked cannot be defeated. The man who trains himself to observe before he engages, who listens longer than he speaks, who watches the storm within himself without panic, that man is dangerous in the best sense of the word. He is not swayed by opinion. He is not derailed by praise or condemnation. His course is true because it is chosen. And he pushes himself not when it is easy, but when it is necessary. Understand this. You are always training. Every decision you make is a repetition. Every time you hit snooze instead of rise, you are practicing surrender. Every time you allow your feelings to decide your behavior, you are practicing slavery. And every time you push yourself, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching, you are forging the kind of strength that cannot be taken, only revealed. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. It is the realization that your future does not belong to chance. It belongs to your standards. Let us now speak of this power called autosuggestion, a principle often ignored by the masses, but revered by the masters. Autosuggestion is the repeated, intentional planting of thought into the soil of the mind, knowing that what you plant you shall surely reap. Your mind does not care whether you feed it truth or poison. It will accept both. The only question is, what are you feeding it? If you wake each morning rehearsing your doubts, you are building chains around your potential. If you speak of your limitations more than your possibilities, Do not be surprised when your life mirrors the very prison you narrate. Tell your mind what you desire, not what you fear. Instruct it with clarity. Speak your commands daily. Burn them into your consciousness. Repeat with feeling, with fire, with faith. I am the master of my emotions. I respond with power. I do not chase, I attract. I am disciplined. I am calm. I am precise. These are not affirmations, they are declarations. You are not begging reality to change, you are commanding yourself to rise. Words are not mere sound. They are architecture. Every sentence you speak builds a wall or opens a door, and the greatest construction project of your life is the one within your skull. Do not wait for the world to believe in you. Do not wait for applause. Speak as if you are already who you are becoming. Behave as if your future self is already present in the room. This is the key to personal initiative. You act not because it is convenient, you act because it is who you are. And here lies another principle that governs all enduring success: definiteness of purpose. If you drift, you die. The man who walks without direction wastes every step. The man who lives to please others forgets the voice of his own soul. The man who chases opportunity without clarity becomes tired, resentful, and ordinary. But the man who has burned his purpose into the very walls of his mind cannot be stopped. He may be delayed, but never denied. What is definiteness of purpose? It is a clear, single aim. It is not vague. It is not theoretical. It is a target so real you could sculpt it in stone. It answers the question, what am I building and why must I build it? Until you answer this, your efforts will be scattered, your energy divided, and your spirit restless. But once you know, truly know, why you rise each day, why you train your mind, why you resist the soft temptations of the easy life, then, and only then, do you become a man. The universe begins to assist. Because nature respects clarity. The world bows to those who move with unwavering will, and the subconscious, like an obedient servant, obeys the one who issues orders with certainty. You cannot afford to hesitate. You cannot afford to delay. Every day you do not push yourself is a day regret gains ground. And regret is not a memory, it is a ghost that haunts the man who knew he could have but didn't. Push yourself now or regret it forever. You ask for power, it is here. You ask for transformation, it begins now. But you must be willing to leave behind the weak version of yourself, the one who reacts, the one who waits, the one who asks permission. Bury him. He has no place in your future. Build the new you with silence, with discipline, with relentless repetition. Do not speak of your goals. Become them. And never again confuse peace with passivity or calm with weakness. The storm is not strong because it is loud. It is strong because it moves mountains. You too must learn to be both silent and unstoppable. If you seek to rise above the common herd, then let this truth settle deeply within you. Your greatest enemy is not the man who mocks you, nor the woman who doubts you, nor even the world that tries to ignore you. Your greatest enemy is the voice inside your own head that whispers, maybe later, maybe not today, maybe never. That voice has stolen more dreams than poverty ever has. It is not your lack of talent that holds you back. It is your abundance of hesitation. You must learn to respond to that voice, not with argument, but with action, not with negotiation, but with movement. Every time you hesitate, you teach the mind that delay is acceptable. Every time you obey doubt, you teach it to return. And every time you override the resistance and push forward, no matter how small the step, you are carving a new groove in the mind, a new pathway that says, this is who I am now, I move forward. This is the essence of personal initiative, and make no mistake, it is one of the most powerful forces in the universe, because while talent is given, initiative is chosen. While conditions are often inherited, initiative is forged. The man who waits for perfect conditions will never begin, and the man who waits for motivation will never finish. You are not meant to be a thermometer, reacting to the emotional temperature of your environment. You are a thermostat. You set the tone, you direct the flow, you regulate the atmosphere of your inner world. And if you can master that, the outer world will follow. Now hear this and take it as law. Thought is the origin of all reality. Before there is a result, there is a belief. Before there is an outcome, there is a thought form. Everything visible began in the invisible. And so the quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your life. If your thoughts are chaotic, undisciplined, and emotional, your life will reflect it. But if your thoughts are structured, detached, and intelligent, your life will echo that order. This brings us to one of the most underrated laws of success, the law of mental neutrality. What does this mean? It means the ability to hold your mind still, neither pulled by desire nor pushed by fear. It means you can sit in the storm and not be moved. It means that you evaluate rather than react, that you calculate rather than catastrophize, that you choose your thoughts like a master selects his tools, each one with purpose, each one with care. The mentally neutral man is not a robot, he is a sovereign. He understands that emotion is a servant, not a master. He feels everything, but responds only to what is useful. This is not repression, this is refinement. For what is refinement but the extraction of the pure from the impure? And what is mastery but the decision to respond from the highest part of yourself, not the most impulsive? You must become a surgeon of your own psyche. Cut away the noise, extract the weakness, and leave only that which serves your definite major purpose. And what is that purpose? It is not to chase happiness. Happiness is a byproduct, not a goal. It is not to impress others. Approval is the hunger of the weak. Your purpose is to grow into the fullest expression of your potential, to build something so powerful, so precise, so undeniable that even your past cannot recognize you. This transformation begins with accurate thinking, another forgotten pillar in the house of the successful. The average man thinks he thinks, but in truth he is merely remembering, repeating, reacting. He does not think, he relives. He absorbs information, not with discernment, but with emotion. He confuses volume with truth, noise with knowledge, feeling with fact. But the accurate thinker is different. He stops, he observes, he filters, he challenges his assumptions, he separates opinion from reality, emotion from evidence. He is not swayed by popular belief, for he knows that the crowd is often wrong. He does not seek agreement, he seeks clarity. And why is this important? Because without accurate thinking, you will chase shadows. You will believe in limitations that do not exist. You will make decisions based on illusions and then curse reality when it punishes you. But when you think with precision, you begin to see cause and effect. You begin to notice patterns. You begin to predict outcomes, not by guessing, but by understanding. This is power. But power without control is destruction. And so we return to our foundation, emotional detachment. Let me be clear. Success is not about becoming less human. It is about becoming more intentional. The world tells you to follow your heart, but if your heart is undisciplined, it will lead you off a cliff. The world says, be yourself. But if your current self is impulsive, lazy, and undirected, that is a recipe for ruin. Do not follow your feelings. Train your feelings. Do not express every emotion. Master every emotion. And do not wait to be inspired. Inspire yourself by becoming a living example of discipline. Understand this. The brain is plastic. It can be rewired. You are not your past. You are your patterns. Change the pattern, and you change the man. Every time you resist distraction, you build strength. Every time you delay gratification, you train greatness. Every time you speak with purpose instead of venting with emotion, you confirm your evolution. And the more you confirm it, the more it becomes natural. The more it becomes who you are, until one day the actions that once felt impossible now feel automatic. Because you didn't change your dreams, you changed your wiring. You must begin to live by principle, not preference. Let your values dictate your behavior, not your moods. Because if you don't command yourself, the world will. Do not make the mistake of thinking that emotional detachment means suppression. It does not mean that you pretend not to feel. It means you choose what to feel and when. It means you observe every impulse, every reaction, every craving, and you say, not now, not yet, not until I decide. This is the root of all greatness, not talent, not luck, but the ability to endure the silence between stimulus and response. Most people react. A few respond, the elite choose. And that choice to delay, to think, to direct the self from within is the difference between a life of reaction and a life of creation. You must be the creator of your state, not the consumer of the world's noise. The internet wants your attention. The masses want your agreement. Your emotions want to be expressed without control. But you must want something higher: peace, power, and purpose. And all three live inside the fortress of self-command. But that fortress is not given. It is built. And it is built brick by brick, thought by thought, habit by habit, each one a decision to choose your future over your feelings. So when the alarm rings, rise. When doubt speaks, act. When weakness tempts, resist. Because every time you choose discipline over delay, you are voting for the man or woman you intend to become. And what happens when you vote often enough? You become elected by your own destiny. You must understand, your life is not waiting for you to change. It is reacting to who you already are. If you want new results, you must build a new inner world. And how do you build it? With silence, with repetition, with detachment. Do not explain yourself. Improve yourself. Do not defend your patterns. Replace them. Do not look for motivation. Become it. The path will not reward you for your intention. It will reward you for your discipline. Push yourself now or regret it forever. There is a law more ancient than any constitution and more unbreakable than steel. It is this: you do not get what you wish for. You get what you are. And what you are is determined not by the peaks of your performance, but by the patterns you repeat in private. Success does not arrive with a knock at the door. It does not ask if you are ready. It comes silently. It visits only those who have prepared. It enters without applause. And when it sees discipline, it stays. But most never meet it. They flirt with their dreams, but marry their excuses. They speak of goals with the mouths of kings, but live with the habits of cowards. And they wonder why their lives never rise. Let me be direct: you are where you are, because of what you allow. You are stressed not because life is hard, but because your mind is undisciplined. You are overlooked not because you lack potential, but because you lack self-command. You are stuck not because the world is unfair, but because your thoughts are untrained. You can curse the world, you can blame your parents, you can resent the wealthy, but none of these things will change your outcome. The only thing that will is when you finally look into the mirror and say, "I will no longer be my own obstacle." Your power begins where your excuses end. You must understand something few ever realize. Success is emotional neutrality under pressure. The truly powerful are not the ones who shout. They are the ones who can stand still in fire and not be burned. They are not numb, they are precise. They do not react to insult because their mission is too great. They do not waver at failure because their vision is larger than circumstance. And they do not need to feel ready because readiness is a myth. You are not waiting for a signal. You are avoiding responsibility. Listen to me, discipline is not a mood. It is a decision. A decision to do what is required, even when every cell in your body begs you to retreat. How do you develop that kind of discipline? Not by motivation, not by hype, but by ritual, by routine, by repetition. The successful have what I call sacred standards, non-negotiables that define them. It is not what they occasionally do that builds them. It is what they do without fail, especially when no one is watching. The amateur asks, "What do I feel like doing?" The master asks, "What must be done?" And therein lies the difference between a life of regret and a legacy of greatness. You see, most people try to change their results without changing their identity. But identity drives behavior, and behavior drives destiny. So ask yourself now, who are you becoming? Are you becoming the kind of person who can command attention with silence? Are you becoming the kind of person who moves toward pressure rather than avoiding it? Are you becoming the kind of person who is calm when others are chaotic? Are you becoming the kind of person who follows through even when no one cares? If not, then you are not becoming. You are repeating. And every day you repeat your current patterns, you dig your future deeper into the ground. But the good news, and let this awaken something sacred in you, is this: you can choose again. You can choose to rise. You can choose to train. You can choose to detach from your temporary feelings and attach yourself to permanent principles. You can choose to push yourself now or guarantee regret forever. Let us speak now of the invisible chains that bind most men emotional dependency. This is the need to be understood before you act. This is the need to be approved before you move. This is the need to be loved before you believe in yourself. And this is slavery. Because if you require emotional validation before you walk your path, you have already surrendered your power. The world may never give you a round of applause. They may never see your sacrifice. They may never understand your discipline. And they are not required to. This is the price of sovereignty. You must validate yourself without applause. Push yourself without permission. Hold the line without encouragement. Because if you only act when others believe in you, you are not powerful, you are dependent. And no man can lead his life if he is emotionally enslaved to the opinions of the crowd. Let them misunderstand you. Let them underestimate you. Let them mock your silence. Let them laugh at your routines. Your power is not in their reaction. It is in your restraint. For a man who is emotionally detached from the noise of the world becomes magnetic to the success he commands, not because he chases it, but because he has become it. And how does one become? Through thought, intentional, directed, unwavering thought. You must treat your mind as a battlefield, not a playground, not a resting place, but a territory of conquest. Every doubt that enters, interrogate it. Every fear that rises, challenge it. Every excuse that whispers, destroy it. Because your mind is either your servant or your master, and whichever it becomes is entirely up to you. If you allow it to wander, it will return with weakness. If you guide it with precision, it will return with gold. This is the law of cause and effect, applied to consciousness, and it does not fail. So do not ask for a better life, build a better mind. Do not wait for calm, become it. Do not chase peace, discipline yourself until it arrives. This is how the great ones live, not by chance, not by emotion, but by code. They live by principle, and the principle is this: I do what must be done, not what I feel like doing, because feeling is fleeting, but discipline leaves footprints. And when you walk in those footprints long enough, they lead you to a future so powerful it renders your past irrelevant. There is a hidden cost to every indulgence, a silent toll you pay, not in dollars, but in destiny. Every time you avoid discomfort, you make a down payment on regret. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you erode the foundation of your future. And every time you act without discipline, you insult your own potential. You were not born to be average. You were not designed for mediocrity. You were not created to wake, scroll, consume, repeat. The blood in your veins is not borrowed. The breath in your lungs is not a mistake. And the power in your mind is not accidental. But that power, that divine spark of potential, is worthless unless you harness it with one word: discipline. Discipline is the bridge between intention and transformation. It is the furnace that burns away weakness and reveals strength. It is the quiet, repeated refusal to give in. It is the daily, hourly, moment-by-moment decision to rise when you'd rather rest, to act when you'd rather excuse, to endure when you'd rather collapse. And the man who builds his life on discipline does not fear pressure, he thrives in it. Because pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is the test. Pressure reveals whether your principles are real or just words. Do you understand what that means? It means the chaos around you is not a curse, it is a mirror. It reflects who you are. If you are calm in the storm, it means you have trained. If you break in the wind, it means you have not. There is no shame in that. Only feedback. Only clarity. You are not here to be perfect. You are here to become precise. And precision requires detachment. Detach from the noise, the opinions, the distractions, the endless sea of updates and dopamine. It will consume you if you let it, and most do. Most surrender their focus to things that will not matter in a week, let alone a lifetime. But you must train your mind like a warrior trains his blade, with reverence, with discipline, with an understanding that every moment spent in distraction is a blow to your future. Detach from validation, from the need to be seen, from the need to explain yourself, from the fear of being misunderstood. Because here is the truth most never realize. The stronger your discipline becomes, the more alone you will feel. Not because you are unloved, but because few will understand the silence you walk in. They will call it cold. They will call it excessive. They will call it unnecessary. Let them. The eagle does not explain its altitude to the pigeons. It simply flies. So must you. Let your results speak. Let your actions echo. Let your standards be your signature. And if you must walk alone to walk with power, then walk alone. There is no strength in company if that company weakens your character. This is what I call the law of the inner fortress. It is the understanding that everything you need, stability, clarity, confidence, must first exist inside you before you will ever find it outside you. You cannot build a powerful life with a fragile mind. You cannot build lasting peace with chaotic emotions. You cannot build wealth, legacy, or greatness on the cracked foundation of undisciplined thought. And so, the first and greatest battle is not against the world, it is against your lower self, the version of you that seeks shortcuts, the version that seeks escape, the version that wants results without resistance. Kill him. Kill him with repetition, with refusal, with quiet, consistent, unshakable movement in the direction of your higher self. Do not speak of discipline. Live it. Do not write your values. Become them. Do not dream of freedom. Bleed for it. The future is not in the hands of those who hope. It is in the hands of those who train. Train your mind. Train your emotions. Train your habits. Train your responses. Because success is not a moment. It is not a finish line. It is not a destination. It is a state of being, a vibration. A discipline that lives in every breath, every thought, every action you take, especially the ones you think don't matter. The ones you take when no one sees. The ones you take when you're tired. The ones you take when your emotions scream for comfort and your purpose whispers, continue. And you must listen to that whisper. It is the voice of your highest self. It is the seed of your future. It does not shout, it does not beg. But if you train yourself to hear it and to obey it, will take you where few have ever gone. Do you want to be exceptional? Then be willing to do what ordinary people will not. They quit when it's hard. You push. They avoid discomfort. You seek it. They react. You respond. They drift. You direct. They wait for motivation. You build systems. They make excuses. You make decisions. They hope. You act. Because you know that one day your life will speak for you. One day your habits will show what you truly believed. One day your discipline or your distraction will be your legacy. And that day is not far off. In fact, it begins now. You are not here to be a product of the world. You are here to produce the world you want to live in. But to do that, you must master the most sacred principle of all. Thought first. Before you act, think. Before you speak, think. Before you accept, think. Before you believe, think. Because the undisciplined mind accepts everything. It is a sponge, and like all sponges, it eventually becomes full of dirt if left unchecked. But the trained mind is a filter. It receives with judgment. It accepts with intention. It moves with accuracy. And accuracy is the seat of all power. Think with intention. Think with purpose. Think as if every thought you allow is building your future, because it is. Your mind is the architect. Your discipline is the builder. Your detachment is the protection. And your vision is the blueprint. So I ask you now, in all seriousness, what are you building? Is it strong? Is it clean? Is it sacred? Or is it cluttered with fear, rusted with indecision, and weakened by emotional indulgence? If you do not like the answer, do not despair. Change it. You have that power. Right now, in this breath, in this thought, not tomorrow, not when it feels right, not when someone believes in you. Now, push yourself now, or regret it forever. There is no middle ground. There never was.